Hey guys, thank you for coming to my channel. In this video, you'll be learning about demonstrative pronouns. It's crazy because this whole time I've been pronouncing demonstrative as demonstrative. But yeah, I hope this video is informative. So for starters, demonstrative pronouns either point to something specific that can be near or far, or they demonstrate something from the previous sentence. So here are the demonstrative pronouns that I'll be discussing: this, that, these, and those. So we're going to start with this, and this is singular, which means that the verb that follows has to be singular as well. And if you want to know more about subject-verb agreement, I have a video on that, so feel free to check that out. So this is used when pointing to something that's near in either distance or time. So example 1 says, "This car is mine." So in this case, I'm talking about a car that's close to me. Example 2 says, "This shirt will look great." And as you can see, I'm talking about a shirt that is close to me. So it's near me in distance. And example 3 says, "This hat will be a great gift." And as you can see, I'm talking about a hat that is near me in distance. So next, I'm going to show you guys some more examples with this, but this time I'm going to give you more context. And also, that's another thing. When you're using demonstrative pronouns, it's advised to give context, like add more info so that people know exactly what you're talking about. So let's take example 1. Instead of just saying, "This car is mine," we added more context. So the previous sentence says, "I'm standing in the parking garage. This car is mine." So that way, when someone reads both sentences, they can put 2 and 2 together, as opposed to like just reading "this car is mine" and being like, "Wait, what car? Like, what's going on?" Example 2 says, "I have an important event to attend tomorrow. This shirt will look great." So instead of just saying "this shirt will look great" and leaving people playing the guessing game, I added more context so that people would know that I'm attending an important event tomorrow, and that's why I'm talking about how great the shirt will look. Example 3 says, "My friend's birthday is in 4 days. This hat will be a great gift." So notice how instead of just saying "this hat will be a great gift," I added more context so people would know exactly what I'm talking about. The reason why I'm getting a hat is because my friend's birthday is in 4 days. Next we have that, and that is singular. That is used when pointing out something that's far in either distance or time. So example 1 says, "That store sells baby clothes." So as you can see, the store isn't right next to us, but it's far in distance. And it doesn't have to be super far. I would say like far could be considered something that's not right next to you. Well, when it comes to demonstrative pronouns, at least. Example 2 says, "Hand me that knife, please." And the knife could be in the cabinet, it could be in the kitchen, it could be somewhere far from you. And so it's considered far in distance. And example 3 says, "I used to live in that house." And as you can see, we're referring to a house that's far in distance. It's not right next to us. Next, we have that being used to demonstrate something from the previous sentence. So example 1 says, "I'm going shopping for my newborn. That store sells baby clothes." So as you can see, instead of just saying "that store sells baby clothes" and leaving people guessing, we added more context so you could know why we were talking about that store that sells baby clothes. So I mentioned that store because I'm going shopping for my newborn. Example 2 says, "I need to chop some onions. Hand me that knife, please." So if we just said "hand me that knife, please," I'm sure people would be super confused. They'd be like, "Are you trying to stab somebody with the knife? Are you trying to cook with it? Like, what are you doing with the knife?" So that's why we added context and said, "I need to chop some onions," so people would know exactly why we need the knife. Example 3 says, "I'm driving around my old neighborhood. I used to live in that house." So if I just said "I used to live in that house," people would probably be like, "Why is she saying she used to live in that house? What does that have to do with anything?" So that's why we need to make sure we add context. So that's why I said I'm driving around my old neighborhood, so people would know why I mentioned the fact that I used to live in that house. Next we have these, which is plural, which means the verb that follows needs to be plural as well. These is used when pointing out things that are near in either distance or time. Example 1 says, I want to buy these shoes. So the shoes I'm talking about are near in distance. Example 2 says, I like these ornaments. And the ornaments that I'm talking about are near in distance. Example 3 says, I want to wear these boots. And the boots I'm talking about are near in distance. So now we're using these to demonstrate something from the previous sentence. So we're adding more context. So example 1 says, I don't have any shoes to wear to the event. I want to buy these shoes. So if we just said, I want to buy these shoes, I feel like a person would be confused, like, huh? Why are we talking about shoes? But if we add more context and say, I don't have any shoes to wear to the event, a person would know exactly why we said, I want to buy these shoes. Example 2 says, today I'm doing some Christmas shopping. I like these ornaments. So if we just said, I like these ornaments, I feel like a person would kind of understand what we're talking about, but they would still be a little confused. And that's why we added context and said, today I'm doing some Christmas shopping. So a person would know exactly why we said what we said. Example 3 says, it's snowing outside, so I want to wear these boots. So if I just said, I want to wear these boots, someone would be kind of confused, and that's why we added context and said, it's snowing outside, so I want to wear these boots. So now people have an idea of why I want to wear these boots. Next we have those, which is plural. Those is used when pointing out things that are far in either distance or time. So example 1 says, those are my childhood friends. So in this case, my childhood friends aren't close to me, so they would be considered far. Example 2 says, I grew up in those apartments. So I'm not right next to those apartments that I grew up in, so they would be considered far in distance. And example 3 says, I want to buy those earrings. And the earrings aren't right next to me, so they would be considered far. Next, we have those being used to demonstrate something from the previous sentence. Example 1 says, we just arrived to the get-together. Those are my childhood friends. So as you can see, instead of just saying those are my childhood friends, we added more context. So we just arrived to the get-together. So now you know why I mentioned my childhood friends. Example 2 says, I'm in my old neighborhood. I grew up in those apartments. So as you can see, we added more context. So now people would know why I said I grew up in those apartments, because I'm in my old neighborhood. Example 3 says, I'm at the jewelry shop. I want to buy those earrings. So now people know why I said I want to buy those earrings. I'm at the jewelry shop, and that's why I want to buy those earrings. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you found this video informative. If you did find this video informative, please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, or all of the above, and I'll see you next time.